This graphic right here tells me a lot about estates thinking and their thinking of long-term growth. Because one thing I've noticed is that they keep talking about expansion in a very structured way. And it's not just let me add random properties as fast as possible, but selective growth. And honestly, that really stands out to me. That speaks to where the company is going. Now, according to this graphic, their 2026 focus is portfolio expansion through real estate assets that align. They got to align with the existing structured standard. So they're not just putting anything up here. A lot of people ask, well, how can I get my home tokenized or this and that? Now we do have on the website, and I'll link it down below if you want to inquire on that. But there's a process for that. But ESA has a certain quality that they are looking for when it comes to tokenizing real estate. And I just think that that's just boss moves. That's just big boss business moves because if people may say, well, are the properties real? Yes, they are real because if estate was a type of platform to just take pictures of properties just to put them up there, like they would have done that a long time ago, don't you think? Now, let me simplify what this means is that basically they are saying that they want growth that it still fits inside the framework they've already been building. And personally, I really think that that really matters. It's a big deal because when companies grow too fast without the structure, things get real messy. Okay, real messy. And I've seen it. Okay, in this space, I've seen it over and over again. Now, another thing I noticed is they specifically mentioned that asset backed growth, real market demand, and not this volume based homes or properties they're putting on the platform. And honestly, that language is just so much importance for you and me because it sounds like they're trying to focus more on quality and operational structure instead of just pumping out assets for hype. Now, estate does have some focus areas that are talked about on this graphic, and the first one is income generating residential and commercial assets, meaning properties that are actually tied to operational real estate activity. So those that ask, well, can I get my home tokenized and all those great things? I'll put the link down below in the description. You can consider that, but it's not a guarantee. Your home has to be income producing. It has to bring in some type of income in order for that to work on this particular platform. Okay. So again, I'll link down below if you have a home or building, anything that you want to submit that we will want to put on this platform to be tokenized. Also, that there's mentioned that development stage projects with defined validation milestones as well is what they're looking at. And honestly, that's interesting because development projects are completely different from already operating assets. So what it shows is that they are thinking about different categories inside the ecosystem. Then there's another big thing, and that's geographic diversification, which basically means expanding into different regions and markets instead of staying in one concentrated or one area. And personally, I think this is where tokenized real estate becomes interesting, very interesting long term, because blockchain creates the possibility for broader digital assets to these real world assets across multiple locations. Now, again, always do your own research, always understand the risk, always learn how this system works before you actually participate. What I personally find fascinating is watching real estate slowly merge with digital infrastructure because for years, real estate has traditionally been limited to geographics, okay, access, and large capital requirements. And tokenization is introducing a different conversation around participation and digital ownership structures. Now, whether this industry becomes massive or not, and I believe that it will, I do think we are watching a real shift happen, especially when companies start focusing on scaling infrastructures, expanding portfolios, and building compliance systems and standardizing the operations. That's usually the phase where industries start maturing. And honestly, I think this is why these roadmaps and these graphics I've been sharing keeps expanding my attention. It keeps catching my attention and really me putting a stamp to say I'm here, because they're not just talking about one property. They're talking about building the entire ecosystem over time. Okay. So we're not here for a short time. We're here for a long time. Okay. So if you want to learn more about estate, the ecosystem, go ahead and set up your free account. Okay. Also, there's a 15-minute overview if you want to look at that to get more details, get yourself familiar with tokenized real estate, especially if you're new to all this. And then set up your free account. When you set up your free account, do your KYC, go in and browse the current properties that we have. You can even browse the different documentations for each property, but it's all there. They're very transparent about where estate is going and all the properties that we have on the platform. Okay, so go ahead, do that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below in the comments, because I may do a video on them next. But if not, I'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay, I cannot wait to see you in the next video. I hope this was a service for you and you have a greater understanding. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.